And the major there said, you know, you're going to hate me for this. He said, but you'll love me later. He kicked me out of the Army. So I'm 50% disabled according to the Army for this left knee.
Wow.
So as I'm ETSing, I'm trying to get in shape. You know, I wanted to lift weights and get in a tanning bed and all that kind of stuff. And I walk in this tanning salon, and there's this dude behind the counter, and he's got a spiked flat top, bleach blonde, and he's just jacked. And I'm like, that's not you don't look like that to run a tanning salon. What the hell? He said, well, I'm training to be a professional wrestler. Oh, I've always wanted to do that. And he said, well, I'm training with Ivan Koloff down in Charlotte. And I said, oh, that'll be awesome. How much is it? He said, oh, it's about $3,000. I was like, okay, that scratches that. Because, you know, I didn't have any money. So I get out of the Army. I go home. And it turns out that a friend of mine that I graduated high school with had started a professional wrestling school in a garage, charged me $250, taught me just the basics, and then I got booked on some cards to where I worked like Wahoo McDaniels. I met Wahoo, the legend, and Wahoo liked me. And he was the first one that took me under his wing and said, you got potential. And so from there, once he started helping me and making some phone calls, and I worked with him, and then I worked with Jimmy Valiant. I worked with the Rock and Roll Express, and then I got picked up by Tully Blanchard, one of the Four Horsemen. He managed me for a little while, my partner. We went out to Texas, worked for Jim Crockett. So I did about 7 or 8 years full time.
Nice.
And that's all I did. I worked for ECW, NWA, WCW, USWA, and every independent show in between.
That's awesome.
I don't like to fly, not because I'm scared of flying, but because they don't make planes that fit me normal.
Okay.
So if it's 10 hours or less, I'll drive. So for me in the wrestling day, all you had to do was get to a certain place at a certain time. Mm-hmm. You know, you had to be there. And depending on the promoter, like Jerry Lawler, if you had to be there, let's say the doors open at 7, he wanted all the boys there at 6. Let's say you get there at 6:30. He'll take money off. For every 30 minutes you're late, they take money off your check.
Oh, wow.
So you don't want to be late.
Right.
So all you had to do was be at that building at that time, do your job, and go. Then you're done. You know, so.
Was being late a big thing for these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just now they don't travel the way they did. Back in my day, I hate saying that, but back in my day, the guys, it was every day. You're in the airport every morning, and you wrestle 300 days a year.